better have my funny. Sponsored by F and Vodka, obviously.
Let's get our F and Vodka drinks. Let's get effed up. We're having a little bit of a girls' night tonight, so ladies, if you've got your man with you, let's ignore them. Let's let them be our sober cabs home, okay?
And since it's an all-girls show, we came up with some all-women rules for tonight. So we have a list of a few changes. Number one, usually our show has one intermission in the middle. Tonight we're going to have 5. We know that every girl is unique and different, you know, even with our bathroom needs and monthly flows, so we don't want anyone to miss any part of the show just because of the old red scare, or you have no pink until red, or boom rage, whatever.
Rule number 2, all of our laughter tonight is going to be replaced with silent tears of joy, which we know is a woman's true laughter.
And rape. The only rape jokes allowed tonight have to be centered on men and prison. Seriously.
Okay, on rule number 4, we've got our comment box here. Ladies, if you have any comments, critiques, or anything about other women's outfits, feel free to write them down, put them in our box. It's our patriotic duty as women. You know, if you see something, you have to say something.
And finally, as federal law, when there are more than 5 women in one location together that serves alcohol, penis straws are mandatory. Or just use your man straws.
All right, so are you guys ready to laugh your asses off tonight? Now, black ladies,
Let's be loud!
and blondes, you can go ahead. You can take your time. You know, I know it's difficult. You can do it.
And brunettes, just be you. You're perfect the way you are.
All right. First comedian, let's welcome Angela Vela. She is a Chicago comic. She is the producer and host of the Sunday Night Sex Show, which is a once-a-month variety show. She is making her A.N.O.C debut tonight, and she just performed at the Chicago Women's Funny Festival. So let's hear it for Angela Vela.
Hey, you guys, how are you doing? You good? Everybody's good? Everybody's good? Yeah, when I put on my party dress because I saw these girls had fancy dresses on, but also mostly because I feel the need to celebrate every time I just leave the house. I feel like if I just get off the couch and put a party dress on, it's like a celebration. So, is everybody drinking? Everybody's got a drink in front of them? That's awesome. I am sober as shit because I'm on a detox. Has anybody ever done a detox before? Yeah? You have? Raise your hand if you've done a detox. I need to know because I'm struggling. So you have. So we're the alcoholics in the group. Okay, that's pretty good. How long did you do it for?
I didn't make it past the week.
But you did a week. All right, that's great. Give it up for her. She did a week sober. If you've never tried to do a detox, then it's... Okay, so me and my roommate, we decided, you know, because we're drinking way too much all the time. Every night we're going out to open mics or shows or whatever. And we decided, okay, we need to do a detox. Our tolerance was ridiculous. So we did the buddy system. And if you've ever tried to organize a detox, you will find instantly it's difficult because we're looking at a calendar in our phones. We're like, okay, because what are we going to do? Like 30 days, right? Like that's like an average detox, 30 days. And so we're looking at our calendars and our phones. And he's like, okay, well, why don't we start Monday? And I was like, no, I've got that show on Tuesday and I'll be able to drink for free. And so let's do next week. He's like, okay. And then we follow the next one. I was like, oh, but he's like, my sister's getting married. I'm going to really need to drink then. And basically what ended up happening is we went week by week by week, and there was always some reason that we couldn't do it that week, and all of a sudden I realized that we were scheduling our detox around our alcoholism. I feel like and that doesn't even include the 20-minute conversation we had on whether or not this should even include wine. And it definitely didn't include pot, because that's how we got through it. Just smoked a lot of weed every day. That's how we did it. So we ended up doing it for like close, I would say 28 days. I think we caved in, because I think we were like, well, it's been 4 weeks, fuck the 30 days. Like it's been a month. Yeah, I think that's how we were able to justify it. But we did it nonetheless. So we did the 28 days. But I'm on my second detox ever in my life, and I'm 3 weeks in. So, thanks. Is somebody start to clap? Yeah, that is really great. That's really awesome. Thank you. Anybody here on a date? Anybody? I love the fact that we're all single, so we're all gonna just hit on each other all night. It's really great. No, actually, usually I do that too, because I'm like, anybody who's single, raise your hand, and then I'm just like, okay, I'll remember that because I'll be really drunk later, and it'll help me remember now who to hit on. But I don't know, dating's weird. Like, I'm trying to start dating again, and like my mom gets really, really excited that I'm dating. She's like, oh, it's so great that you're out there and you're getting out there, and I'm like, yeah, Mom, have you seen the economy? I can't afford my lifestyle. Of course I'm dating. Like the rising cost of Jameson alone this winter. Really hit me hard. Really. I don't know what to do with the Dutch. Does anybody ever do Dutch? People do Dutch still? Anybody like Dutch doers? I don't know. I can't do. I always feel really weird. You guys know what I'm talking about? Dutch. And they go, okay. Like, but I feel like it's really, really always that awkward moment when the check comes. Because I want to be cool and I want to offer to go Dutch, but then I always feel like I'm dating that, like, that conscious asshole that decides to take me up on it. And then it always kind of bites me in the ass because I always feel like, you know, I feel like it just made me to start dating more assholes. It's like not going to worry about stepping on my feminism so that he can pay the whole bill. Because he'll like offer, I'm like, oh shit, I only have $2 in the bank. It really got me. But yeah, I don't know. And then like, the other thing too that as far as dating was that I realized I will never go through quite the emotional roller coaster as I do going through the daily Groupon deals in my email. You guys do Groupon out here? You do? So you guys, I'm such a Groupon whore. Is anybody else here a Groupon junkie? Oh yeah. I love Groupon. It's amazing. But I realize like anytime that I get the daily deals and I'm scrolling down, I go through this crazy emotional roller coaster by the time I get to the end of it. I don't know if it's my hopes or what, but like I start up at the top and it'll be like a restaurant. It'll be like Thai food. Like, oh, awesome. Yes. Thai food. I will go get Thai food tonight. Groupon. All right. And then I scroll down and it's like Italian food. I was like, okay, yes, I will. Italian sounds great. Groupon, thank you. It's like, you know me. It's great. And then you start to scroll down and like second date shit starts happening. That's like the movies where it's like, okay, I'll go to the movies. Or where did we see Groupon? I don't know. We just made out the whole time. Me and you. It's us. We're in this together. And then I scroll down, and then it's like, whoa, serious shit happens. Like Cancun. Now you want me to go to Cancun, Groupon? Shit's getting serious. And then, like, you know, the progression of the relationship, because it's Cupcake Tour Michigan Avenue, and we're so happy, we're hitting so bad. It's so great. And then, like, all good relationships, you get to the bottom, and that's when things start happening, like laser hair removal. And you know, yoga and exercise and liposuction. And I'm just like, what happened, Groupon? I thought you loved my body. What happened? And then I just feel like if I was ever to scroll all the way down to the bottom and there was a Groupon for Lamaze class, I'm like, fuck you, I'm out. I will not have your Groupon baby. That is just not going to happen. Do you guys ever go to the city? Anybody ever go to Chicago?
Yep.
Sometimes, yeah. Clap it up if you go to the city regularly. Just this side of the room. No, that's great. Like, I don't know, is there a metro station out here? How do you guys get there? What do you do? Is there a train? No? See, because there's a lot of really amazing shit happening this summer in Chicago. And, like, we just had Pride Fest. We just had Pitchfork, Wild Blues this weekend. But I did something that was amazing a couple months ago. Have you guys ever heard of the Naked Bike Ride? Yeah. You have? Okay. Okay. For those of you who do not know, the Naked Bike Ride is a bear as you dare, because you don't have to be completely naked, but it is a bear as you dare bike ride where it's like anywhere from 1,000 to 1,500 people, depending on the weather, will come out and ride their bikes 25 miles across from downtown to all the neighborhoods surrounding the city. And this is amazing, you guys. One of the things I love about the Naked Bike Ride is just the creativity that goes into the costumes. Because like I said, not everybody's totally naked, although many are. And I had bottoms on and then body paint. Because a lot of people do things like body paint. They'll wear like Halloween pieces of Halloween costumes. So it'll be like a guy who's completely naked and he'll have cowboy boots on and a Superman cape. That's his deal.
I know Matt's doing.
It's amazing. It's the creativity is fantastic. But I did my first one 2 years ago, and some really like amazing things happened because not only did first off, if we pass somebody who's on a bike and they'll see that we're doing the naked bike ride, we saw people just get off their bike, take their clothes off, throw it in their backpack, and join us, and everybody screams like, "One of us, one of us, one of us!" This is amazing. It will just turn people onto nakedness. It's amazing. But it's really cool too because we were going through this super rich neighborhood. It was an old town. If any of you know, this is like the original old rich row house mansions just above the city. And we're going down Wells Street, and there was this old man with all the, like I said, it was like old money in this neighborhood. And there was this man that was up there at the top of his stoop in like a smoking jacket, like Hugh Hefner. And he had all these people with him. And as we're coming around the corner, this man, I see him go like this, and he starts to run down the stairs. And as he runs down the stairs, I see who I guess is his wife, just going, "No!" And then as he gets down to the bottom, he opens up his smoking jacket, and he's completely naked, and he's just like this as we're all riding past him. And I feel like we made that man's life. Like, he could have gone home and died in his sleep that night. He would have been fine. Like, his whole life, he did it. He got naked in front of 1,500 people. It was great. And then there was this other experience I had. This guy kept riding up next to me, and I don't know, if you go to the naked bike ride to hit on somebody, you're a douchebag. You are a total asshole, because we are all naked, which, by the way, because we're all naked, you actually kind of forget that you're naked until some, asshole like that rolls up next to you and tries to hit on you. And then you feel naked as shit. And they're just like, "Oh my God, that's right, we're naked." And so this guy kept riding up next to me, and he was doing people do talk to each other because they'll comment on stuff and laugh with each other, and we're all strangers. And this guy kept riding up next to me, and he kept doing that kind of conversation, "Is this your first naked bike ride? How many have you done? This is my fifth." He kept trying to get conversation with me, and I'm ignoring him. And I'm just, he's like, "Yeah, you come here often." And I'm just like, "I hope you don't, because we're naked and that's messy." And gross. Gross. Yeah. Wow. But I just feel like that guy was dirty. And I don't even know how that misconnection would even happen. If you were to put a misconnection, it'd just be like, I was naked, you were naked, we were on a bike. I don't really know what else you could say to that. I don't know. I actually am very, very tempted to put out this misconnection myself because I just want to watch 1,300 people show up to the same restaurant. And then just put that everybody's naked. And that might work. I don't know, I kind of feel like it might work. One thing about the bike ride too is it wasn't a mistake to tell my coworkers that I did it because I'm proud as shit that I did it. It was one of the most liberating experiences I've ever had. But the mistake I made was telling them when all the videos went up on YouTube. Because they actually went and they looked and they found me. And these are my coworkers. So I go in and I work with a lot of ladies from Bosnia, and so they get really excited that I'm doing this stuff that they're older, they have families, and they probably wouldn't think to do it. Certainly not back home. And so I go into work the next day, and this one lady comes up to me and she says, I don't think it's Habibti or Habibi or sister or daughter or something like that. And she's like, "Hey, 3 minutes, 14 seconds, I see you." I see you. I was like, "Oh, great." That was, because I memorized all the time. I was like, "Oh, awesome." And then later on that day, another lady comes up, because there was a ton of videos. Another lady comes up and she's like, "Hey, 9 minutes, 35 seconds. I was like, "Yes, all right, that's me. But luckily I didn't have my boss in seat, because I feel like that would have been totally disgusting. She's like, "Hey, 11 minutes, 15 seconds, hey!" That would have been really disgusting. I'm just really glad that didn't happen. I don't know. Very, very weird. But yeah, so the naked bike ride, I did it again this year, and the funny thing is I ended up hitting on a guy. I was totally that asshole, because I did, and we went on 2 dates, and it was all right. It was okay. It was kind of weird because we've already seen each other naked. You know what I mean? It's kind of the pressure is a little awkward. I don't know. But yeah, no. So cool shit like that's always happening in Chicago, the naked bike ride, and it's amazing. one of the other things, I've lived in the city for 6 years. Did any of you ever live in Chicago, or you guys just all been out here? Anybody ever, maybe you went to school there, possibly? Okay, if you went to school there, it's even better, because you might have actually have experienced this. But I have discovered one of my favorite things to do since I moved to the city 6 years ago is just to go people watch in a laundromat. That is, like, I would go, when I was going to college in the city, I would literally go and do my homework in a laundromat. Just for the sake of it, because it was exciting. And like, usually the same shit happens. If you've been to one laundromat in Chicago, you've been to all of them. Because the same things occur in all of them. And the first one is always the movie guy. The movie guy comes in, who is also sometimes the porn guy. But this isn't like, if you've ever, it's always, you know, really, like, burned copies of movies and porn that's probably his cousins and his sister. I don't know. But you go through and he shows you these porns, and I feel like these are gross, dirty porns. Like, this is the kind of porn that if you agree to buy one, he's going to take you to the back alley to the trunk of a rusted 1992 Ford Tempo. That is where your porn is coming from. And it's probably on cinder blocks, and it's been there for 10 years. But that is like the kind of porn that comes in the laundromat. Always. And then another one is the sock guy. Now, I know you guys probably don't understand this, but let me just explain that there is a man that will come into every laundromat. Not one man. This is like men. It's like, I don't know if they have a union. I don't know, maybe there's a sock guy union. But they don't speak English. They just come there and they have a little suitcase full of socks. Like packages of unopened socks. And like, I don't know, the shit's getting smuggled in somewhere. I don't know. That's what's happening. Socks are getting smuggled in and sold at the laundromat. I don't know. It's weird. But that always is consistent. And then another, let's see, what else can you get at a laundromat? AIDS. I feel like you can get AIDS. I will never use the bathroom at a laundromat ever, because they're so disgusting. I would gladly risk losing my socks to run across the street and use the bathroom at 7-Eleven, and we just justified the sock guy. Works in unison with AIDS. But yeah, that's the exciting laundromat. I don't know. One last thing about Chicago is I was reading in The Reader, which is one of our local papers, I was reading in there that they were talking about how this neighborhood, Logan Square, it's known for like its artsy. It's the artsy scene of Chicago. It's all the hipsters and the musicians and all the, you know, the vegans, and it's like, well, all that kind of scene's there. And then you guys know you're familiar with Wrigley, right? I don't even need to explain, you know, Wrigley. I mean, I don't know, you guys Cubs fans, White Sox fans, I don't, you know. Neither here nor there, but you have Wrigleyville, and that is all the Cubs fans. They go to live together and make Cubs fans babies. That's what happens. And then there's actually this neighborhood in between Roscoe Village where all the hipsters go to have babies, so I kind of feel like it's weird, it's in the middle. But I was reading in The Reader that they were talking about how Roscoe Village is the next up-and-coming Logan Square. All the whole art scene's moving east towards Wrigleyville. And I honestly feel like this is going to play out, in my mind, like a scene from The Warriors. Clap it up if you know The Warriors. I did a show last week, blank faces. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You don't know The Warriors. Like, it's a video game besides a badass movie. And that was kind of bizarre. I did not expect that. But yeah, you guys know what's up. You know The Warriors. So I kind of feel like this is going to play out like that. Because what's fantastic about The Warriors is that they have all their respective weapons and costumes, right? Right? And so I feel like, okay, I've got the team set up in my mind. I've got the hipsters laid out before me. We already know what their uniforms are going to be. Lots of vintage clothes and torn fishnet stockings and the likes. But the weapons are what's interesting. I feel like their top 3 weapons are going to be a garden hoe for all the vegan kids, drumsticks for all the musicians, and I feel like their main weapon of choice is going to be a 1912 vintage collector's pistol that they know way the fuck too much about. And will tell you as you are dying. You're like, so I got this out of this kind of collection. This is an original, only made 3 in 1911, and then you're dead. And then the Cubs fans, okay, we already know, right? We know what their uniforms are going to be. Now their weapons of choice, first one, what do you think it's going to be?
Baseball bat.
Baseball bat. That's what I would figure, having a baseball bat. Second weapon of choice has got to be a broken bottle of Miller Lite. Possibly Bud Light, depends how far. Old style. I don't know, that actually might be like Blue Collar and Proud. I don't know. I think we're gonna stick with Miller Lite. And then for their main weapon of choice, for the Mortal Kombat Fatality, I feel like it's going to be 2 front row tickets to Dave Matthews Band shoved in their face. And the hipsters just explode. That is how it's going to go down. You guys have been awesome. I'm Angela. Enjoy the rest of the show. Thank you, Indiana.